Alright, so today is Friday. The 16th, and this is our last set of notes. So again, you need your graphing calculator. I'm going to teach you how to calculate the standard deviation, talk about what it is, give you some symbols. So you need to know it by hand and by calculator. So what I also recommend you do is go back to Canvas and watch the other video that I'm going to post that kind of just explains a little bit more about the bell curve and what the standard deviations really mean. So what is standard deviation? It is the measure of variance. What that means is it is a measure that describes the spread or distribution of a data set. So standard deviation equals, it's going to be the square root of the variance. Okay, so there are symbols you need to know. You need to know this symbol, X bar. That means the mean. And this is the standard deviation symbol. It's the lowercase letter, so it looks like that on your calculator. Alright, so steps on the calculator I'm going to show you in a second. So in the video it'll just explain what the bell curve looks like. You usually see this on the nightly news with the weather. If it has a low standard deviation, it's going to be a tighter bell curve, and if it's a larger, the standard deviation will be more, I guess, fatter, wider. I believe I just saw one recently on the hours in a day. Right now that we're reaching summer, I saw that on the news recently, and the video is going to talk about the 68, 95, 99 rule. And this is pretty much your standard deviation. And we'll talk about that in a second, what it means to calculate the standard deviation. Alright, so we're going to calculate the standard deviation for these test scores. So step number 1, I'm going to show you by hand, is you're going to find the mean. They don't have to be in any order. Alright, so find the mean. $90. So we create a table to organize our data, and then what we're going to do is we're going to subtract those values. So like, how far is 85 from 90? 5, 0, 2, 2. It doesn't matter if you guys want to use negatives, but that's what you're doing. You're taking the difference, and then you're squaring the difference. 25, 0, 2 squared is 4, 4, and 25. Now what you do is find the mean of that. Subtract mean from each data value, and then you're going to square each difference. That's what I just did there. And then you're finding the new average. Alright, so find the average of that. Was that 58 divided by 5? But then you have to take the square root of it. That's your last step. Take the square root. And I got 3.41. So my standard deviation is 3.41. Sorry. Okay. So what does that actually mean? So let's just review. I took each data set, found the mean. The mean is 90. Then I found the difference between the mean and each data value. And then I squared those values. And then I found the average, so I added those up. I got 58 divided by 5 is 11.6, and then I took the square root to get 3.41. Okay, so what does this actually mean? This means most test scores are within about 3.4 points of the average, which is of the 90% average. Okay, that's what standard deviation means. It describes the spread of the data set. So each of these values are on average 3.4 away from your mean. So if you think of the bell curve, right, like if this is 90%, each other score would just be 3.4 away. Like here it's 10 away. Ours would just be 3.4. So it probably would be a skinny bell curve if you were to graph it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to try this on the calculator. So step number 1 is stat. Okay, so let's go back to our stat. Actually, I'm going to clear my list. You guys should do this too. So go to second mem, clear lists, clear all lists, hit done. Okay, so now when you go back to stat, now we have nothing in our list. So list 1, you're just going to list the values, 85, 90, 92, 88, 95. Okay, so that's step number 1. So step number 2, hit calc again. I'm sorry. It's always under stat. Stat calc, not the calc up here. And then you guys are going to go to number 1, variable stats. And then you're going to hit enter 1, 2, 3 times. So let's see if we're right. Right? Was our mean 90? Yep. The standard deviation on the calculator shows you the symbol with X. So we got 3.405, and that's what we got here, 3.41. All right, so again, stat, edit, add your numbers, go back to stat, calc, number 1, variable stats, hit enter, and then just keep hitting enter until calculate is highlighted. Hit it one more time, and then it'll give you the standard deviation, which is 3.4. Okay, so for today, for your practice, I would like you to complete your table as well. Sometimes it'll say like use your graph and calculator. If it says use your graph and calculator, then you don't need to show the table. The table is if it doesn't say the graph and calculator. And I think your classwork says both. So for this classwork, it is homework due Monday. So try your best to get as much done as possible in class. And the answers are in the answer key book, but it does not show your work, okay? They're there just so you know if you're on the right track. All right. Glue this in. This is your last foldable before your last check, and then I will check your homework on Monday. And make sure you have your catapult supplies by Tuesday. All right, I'll see you guys all on Monday. Be good.